Hi everybody. So I spoke earlier on one of my channels about making these reusable face wipes, makeup wipes. Anyway, whatever you want to call them, they are to replace cotton wipes in the home. And instead of being thrown away, these are made out of 100% cotton so that they're washable at a nice high temperature, and they look super cute as well. I happened to make a little bowl for it, a little rope bowl. If you've never made these before, they're really good fun to make, and they can be popped into there and given as a lovely little gift as well. So I thought I'd show you how to make them. So you need a crochet hook to go with whatever size yarn you're using. I'm using a double knit. This happens to be a Rico Baby soft 100% cotton, and it's lovely on and soft as well. So to make a start, just to let you know, I'm using a 3.25 crochet hook if you want to follow on and copy me. So we're going to start with our piece of work with a magic loop. So you take the tail of your yarn and you wrap it around your fingers, hold the end, wrap it around twice, and then go underneath the two, hook the first one, bring it up, and then grab and make a hook. Now that isn't counted as your first chain, by the way, so we're now going to do 2 chain, 1, 2, and then we can release our fingers from the loop. So you've now got a double loop, which is what you want for this project, and that's because when you only have a single loop, magic loop, the tail might come undone or loosen, and then you'd have a hole in the middle. And that's another reason why we don't do a chain to start this project, because of course you could do 3 chain and join it with a slip knot and then go into the center of your 3 chain or your 4 chain, but then you're always going to have a little hole in the middle. That's not a problem. If you like that, then feel free. This is a simple project for you to do and to get on with, start saving the planet, one cotton wipe at a time. And so really it's up to you. This is just a guideline. This is not an absolute plan, project, pattern, whatever you're calling it. It is literally just to give you an idea of how to make them. So I've got my magic loop, I've done 2 chain, and now I'm going to do a double crochet. In America, that's a treble. So I've done 1. I don't include my 2 chain in the count. So I'm going to do 12 double crochets into the magic loop. So you should know what you're doing by now. If you don't, please go on to one of the sites that teaches you crochet, as they will be much slower and more methodical about teaching you. This is once you already know what the stitches are. It is a lovely little project to do when you're new to crochet as well. So let's count how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12. Put it back on there. Now, when you want to close your ring up, the first thing I do is take my tail and give it a gentle tug to see which one of these shortens. So the first one that shortens, I then know I've got to use that to shorten the other ring first. If you shorten the one directly in contact, the one that's attached to the first ring, then you will probably never be able to pull your second ring tight. So what we do is we want to find how to tighten the first ring first. So we're doing that, tightening up the first ring. It's always a little bit of a puzzle to me, because I have to figure it out every single time I do this. And sometimes I do it wrong. Actually, more often than not, I do it wrong. So that's not the end I want. It's this end here. And it's quite tight, so I've got to give it a good tug. Oh dear, sometimes these are easier than others, and sometimes I get them wrong. If you pull the wrong tail, it's going to tighten up, and it's going to be very difficult to tighten your loop. If that happens, just tighten your loop as best you can, and then we can tie in this little bit afterwards. So I've now tightened up my loop. Put that to the back of your work and get your thread yarn back on your hook. And now we are going to do a single crochet into the top of the second crochet we did at the beginning of the previous round. So I'm just slip stitching that together to make a circle. So that's round 1 complete. Round 2 is 3 chain, and into the bottom of the same stitch you're going to do a double crochet, 1 chain, and into every stitch after that you do 2 double crochet and a chain. Next stitch, 2 double crochet and a chain. So go all the way around. I would normally pause this and come back, but honestly it is quite quick, so I'm going to just keep the camera rolling while I finish round 2 off. This is just an example of a pattern, guys. Don't feel that you have to stick with this one. Once you've done a few, basically all you're doing is making a little round pad. So do it any way, any pattern you like. You could do 5 trebles, you could, whatever, it doesn't matter, as long as your round is flat. That's the biggest challenge, is changing the pattern and keeping your round nice and flat. So we're coming towards the end. 1 chain, another 2 double crochets and a chain, and I think this is the last one. Yep, 2 double crochets and a chain to finish, and then join it to the top or the 3rd stitch of your chain at the beginning of the round, and there you have the second round of your pattern. Now you don't need a chain here. All you're going to do is start in the space between your shells. So that's between your 2 sets of double crochets. That's where you're going to go and do 3 double crochets, and then you anchor that down between the 2 stitches, the 2 double crochets of the next stitch, and you do that with a slip stitch, sorry. Then you do 3 double crochets into this next space. It's a chain space that is between your 2 double crochets of the previous row. When you've done your 3 double crochets, you slip stitch into the 2 between the 2 double crochets of the row below. Next one, you repeat 3 double crochets into the chain space and a single slip stitch between the 2 double crochets. Back doing 3 double crochets. That's a treble, by the way, in America. In there, into the chain space, and a slip stitch between your 2 double crochets of the previous round. So there are no extra chains or anything in this, because what it's doing is, by not having a chain, you're actually pulling your trebles down on each side. The first and the third one are kind of pulled, tucked inwards to create a little bit of a picot edge, and then the single crochet anchors it down, and repeat 3 double crochet. We are getting there. This is basically the end of the project. 3 doubles and a slip stitch. Why have I done a chain? And 3 double crochet. I'm getting myself tangled here because of the tripod, but hopefully it gives you an idea. Make up your own pattern. Once you've done a few of these and you know you like it, just keep going and make it up as you go. 1, 2, talk amongst yourselves, sing along, and we are nearly back at the beginning. So these only take a few minutes each to make, and I prefer to just use whatever I've got left in my stash from baby clothing and baby knits that I've done. I do a lot of baby knitting in cotton. I think it's lovely, washable and breathable as well. And the nice thing is that I've got one grandbaby that will be arriving in December in South Africa, which is summer, and that'll be hot. And so I had a lot of bits of cotton yarn left over, which I've used for dishcloths and for these. So what I would love is if anybody would like to make some of these. Obviously you can start making this for yourself and for your friends, but I'm making these as little gifts to go to Community Grocery at the Edge in Wigan. Community Grocery Store is a collaboration between the Message Trust and today's Community Church in Wigan. And it is a food store, a grocery store, where you can get really good quality, cheap groceries for your family if you're struggling post-COVID or anything like that. So while I've been chatting, I've forgotten to tell you, we're finished. We're back at the beginning. So all we're going to do is find a gap somewhere at the beginning and do a slip stitch to anchor it off, and then pull your yarn through and cut your thread. You do not need a long tail, and this bit is optional for you. I pull that through. You can go and get a needle, or you can do what I do, which is flip it over, and I just put my hook into various spaces down this towards the center where the first beginning strand of yarn is, where your starting strand is. And I want to bring it to there just purely so that I can knot it off. And you can run your threads, but I find for this project it's super simple. Just keep it simple, keep it quick. And you're going to tie a knot. Your tail and your beginning are going to get tied together. So a reef knot, so twice around first, because that anchors it really well. So 2 loops and then pull. Don't over pull it, otherwise you're going to pull this down. So just pull it enough to anchor it, and then left, right over left, left over right, right over left, and then pull it tight, and then I snip it off with a tiny little tail. So now you can hardly see that. It's just got a couple little bits that stick up, but it doesn't change how beautiful that is and how cute that is and how well that's going to work in replacement of cotton wool disposable. So make some of those for us. If you would like to help me out, make these for the Community Grocery Store at the Edge in Wigan, and I will bundle them up into these cute little bundles, and I will send them off. I've been doing 5 at a time because they're washable. Just chuck them in the washing when you've used one, or you can wash and go, wash it as you've used it and then reuse it. That's up to everybody and their individual preferences, but I am going to send these little bundles off to the Community Grocery. So if you've got a batch for me that you'd like to make, then please make them and drop them off for me, or let me know when you've got some if you're near Wigan, and I can get somebody to pick them up and give them and gift them and bless somebody and help the planet. So there you go. that's a very simple project for you to make on your road to being more environmentally friendly. One small change is all we all need at a time to make a big difference. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day. God bless. Bye-bye.